Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. All right. Feeling good about today's recipe, guys. This is going to be fun. So we did on Monday, we had a lot of fun making buffalo chicken egg rolls. Oh my God, were they good. They turned out so freaking well. Man, I've been nomming on them hard for a little bit now. All right, so today we're going to actually make traditional egg rolls. So as we discussed on Monday, regular egg rolls, you can do pretty much anything with them. And we're going to play around with that. Not consecutively, because, I mean, it gets boring after a while. Just keep doing egg rolls over and over. So this will be, the only reason we're doing this is because I have egg rolls to get rid of. So, or wonton skins to get, or not wontons, I'm sorry. Egg roll wrapper skins to get rid of. So really that's where it's at for me. I'm just trying to use what I got in my kitchen. And really, unless you're ridiculously wealthy and doing some sort of really cool cooking show, then you're going to use what you can in your kitchen. And ultimately, this is kind of what I'm about. I'm trying to make sure that this is sustainable for regular people. There's plenty of regular cooking shows out there that are just like, oh, look at this cool thing today. This one is geared more towards just people that just need to, not blow their budget on their food. Having crazy meals every once in a while, like the beef Wellington we're going to mess around with here soon, is fun every once in a while. But that's not going to be the go-to for any of this stuff, guys. We're just not going to do that. You know what? Hold on one second. I forgot the most important part. A little bit of wine, brother. A little bit of wine. We're going to finish off the Mondavi that we got. Only got half a bottle left. Do you think it'll be enough? It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Right? All right. Got to start the day off right. Let's look and see what we got. We got a lot of ingredients today. So to actually make traditional egg rolls, look at this hot mess we're messing with today, man. This is the most ingredients we've done on the show so far. I mean, we're just starting out, but I generally try not to go crazy with the ingredients, because again, that's increasing the amount of money you got to spend. But a lot of this stuff you're going to have anyway if you're into God, it's, they call it ethnic foods around here, but non-American foods, right? Because rice vinegar, soy sauce, everybody got soy sauce, but sesame oil, ginger. These are things that most people aren't going to have in their kitchen unless this is the kind of food that they generally gravitate towards. Or, they want to experiment. For those that don't know, I absolutely hate cabbage, unless it's in an egg roll. For some reason, I really like it. So, this is just a green cabbage. That's, I guess you could use a red cabbage. They're a little stronger, but I mean, I don't know. We could try it. We're also going to, anyway, so let's go over this here. All right, so we're making a sauce with this today as well, which is going to be the sesame oil, rice vinegar, honey, and soy sauce, okay? So there's a couple extra ingredients for that. That's what the rice vinegar is for, and the honey. So you need the honey to balance the tartness of the soy and the saltiness of the soy and the tartness of the vinegar. The rest of this is our wonton skins. This is leftover from Monday, so I will probably have some left over, which means at home I'll probably make some, maybe I'll make an apple pie one or something, I don't know. And then we're not going to use all of our chicken today. I just thawed this out, so I'm going to bag half of it. The eggs are just for our glue that's going to hold our egg roll together, just like we did on Monday. And then the rest of it, it's kind of just the ingredients that you stuff into it. You can do bell pepper in here. That actually calls for that, but I didn't have one, so I don't have a bell pepper. Some recipes also call for onions. I'm using scallions instead, but you could definitely dice up or mince up some onions. Normally we're going to do, and we'll talk about it more, normally we'll julienne these, make them into sticks, but I'm just going to shred them today, so just to keep it simple. We just need to get them small, really. That's all it is. So we're going to have a lot going on over here. So we're going to use the wok. I love that I get to use my wok. IKEA, baby. Both of these pans from IKEA. That'll be, well, we'll get to that in a second. So we're going to use our wok to saute everything. Normally in a professional kitchen, the range is obviously bigger, and I would have I would have my saute pan set up for my chicken over here and then the wok going over here so I could do both at the same time. But I tried it out. My range is not big enough front to back. Okay, so it's just, I don't know why, only an 8-inch pan can go on each burner, and I've got 10 and 12-inch pans, so, 12-inch. Anyway, I've got 10 and 12-inch pans, so I can't do it all at once. So what we're going to do is we're going to saute up everything for the stuffing, save for the chicken, in here. When that is done, it's got to cool anyway. We'll set that to the side, then we'll work on our chicken. The chicken will be hot, and we'll have to shred that just like before. But remember on Monday, oh, hold on. Let me get some more wine here. I mean, come on now. That's good. Okay. Now, remember on Monday we talked about doing an experiment because deep frying anything is never going to be healthy. It's definitely going to taste better because rule 1 is fat is flavor. But that does not mean that's the only way to do things. You can sacrifice some of the flavor if... Okay, so the rule of thumb is like 80-20. I can't remember where I heard it from, but basically if you... To eat a little healthier, you go for 80% of the full flavor. If 100% is all the regular flavor, like mac and cheese, you go to 80% of that and you sacrifice 20% of the flavor in order to save on as much calories as you can. That way you're kind of getting your cake and eating it too, but you're doing it a little more sustainable. And that's kind of the theme of this cooking show by and large. Like I said, I will make, like last week, buffalo chicken egg rolls. Not really that healthy. I did use 0-calorie buffalo sauce and light cream cheese, but we're still deep frying it. So, I mean, we saved a little bit of calories, but let's be honest, it's still, you know, it is actually a high protein meal though, considering. I usually eat 2 of them, and it was so good. Oh my God, it was so good, that sauce. Whew. I had to doctor the sauce though, just straight up sauce with the ranch and the blue cheese and the dill. Not a fan. We added some lemon juice, salt, pepper, and garlic powder, and it was delish. Okay. I know I'm ranting a little, talking a little bit more today, just because I'm excited about doing this. I haven't made egg rolls since college. Not college. No, that's not true. I made egg rolls a shit ton in restaurants. What am I thinking? Yeah, we were making like 100 at a time. Now, I'm not doing their recipe. They had a separate recipe that I can't remember. It was a great recipe. I just can't remember it. Plus, we're adding chicken in ours just because, again, protein. So I don't remember what it is. So we're just going to do a traditional one. I did some research and found, I didn't go with one recipe. I found like 5 or 6. Actually, I think I went through 10 of them and found the commonalities. I also looked into some of my culinary school books. I've got one from the Culinary Institute of America, the CIA. And they actually have some good recipes in there too. So I try not to use like white people recipes, but ultimately that's mostly what we've got available. So hopefully it's close. We'll see, you know. Okay, so let's get started. First off, oh, anyway, our experiment. I totally forgot. So our experiment is going to be 3 ways to cook it. We're going to do the traditional. We'll do them in thirds, batches. Well, you know what? Let's start off. We know that the deep fry one's going to work, right? But the other ones, we don't know. So we're going to try a little bit. So we're going to bake, we're going to use the air fryer, and then we're going to deep fry. And we're going to compare between all 3 of them. And we'll do that on camera today. I'm not going to make you guys stick around for all of them because it takes a while to roll these out and make them, right? This is prep work, and prep work's not exciting. I'll talk a lot, you know, while we're there, but, you know, that's kind of where it's at. Okay, so what am I thinking? Where am I at? Drinking, of course. Okay, that's good. All right, so let's get everything set up. Let's get to work. All right, camera's good. Yeah, I like it. Cool, cool. All right, so first things first, we need to start prepping. We need the oven on 350. We need the back burner on medium. That's going to take it a hot minute to get going. Air fryer obviously comes up immediately, so I'm not worried about that. So first things first, let's prep our chicken because Normally you do it the other way around. Normally you would do the vegetables first and then the chicken, but I want to get the chicken out of the way, to be honest. I just want that prepped and ready to go. And then, oh, and most importantly, got to run a sink full of water. All right. Got our thermometer out for checking our oil temp, and I'm a little low on my oil, so that's kind of why we're doing this experiment too, because I didn't want to run out and get new oil. We're going to need this over here because we're going to have to rinse this off. Okay, let's do this. Let me take this out of the way for a minute. Give me a little more counter space. There we go. Yep, still good. Always check. Even when you first get it, like, you know, you never want to rely on the store to make sure that they're giving you the good stuff, you know. Oh, yeah, it's fine. The sell-by date tells you whatever, you know. You don't know. You just don't know. Oh, you know what? I'm almost out of... Yeah, I need to get some more... Hang on one second, guys. I got some back here. There we go. Some paper towels. Oh, paper towels. Yeah. All right. There we go. Fiance last night, because we're really going through the chicken, right? The egg rolls. And she's like, there's no food for tomorrow. I'm like, girl, I'm cooking tomorrow. Relax. It's like, I got you, girl. Now, these have already been frozen. When I get my chicken in, I usually just freeze it right away, because I never know when I'm going to cook it. I used to be, because I'm ADHD, man. I would waste so much food because I would forget about it, or I would go and be lazy and eat somewhere else that day. So that was just, yeah, that was not good. I was losing a lot of food. Food waste is huge, and I'm a big proponent on wasting food, because, I mean, that's money. That's literally money down in the trash, man. You know, down the drain, in the trash, whatever. Why would you waste that? You know, don't do it. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. All right. So I did confirm last night, Sulkin, who is awesome. I don't know how to link it yet, but he's got his own Twitch. It's Soulken. He's going to be here on Monday with his girlfriend, and we're going to have some shenanigans and cook and have fun and just be generally silly. I don't know what we're making yet. I'll let you guys know ahead of time. I'm trying to get to the point where I'm letting people know ahead of time what we're making. That way you guys can tell if you want to tune in or not. All right, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna bag up the rest. Make sure you push the air out on these things too when you put them in. Air and sunlight are the ones that they're the big two that actually are gonna cause your food to spoil quicker. So if you can, find ones that don't have, like, what was I thinking? Man, I lost my train of thought. Clearly I can't do two things at once. Let me clean this up. I gotta make sure that I do it right away, otherwise I'm gonna forget. Again, ADHD, so I may not be too far on the scale, but it doesn't mean that I remember things well. So do them in the moment, especially in a kitchen. When you got a lot going on, do it right then. That way you don't have to remember later. Did I get X, Y, and Z done? No, did not. So, all right, that's done. Trim this sucker up. My knife, my knife. So, a couple of people were asking, this is steel. This is not actually sharpening your blade. This is aligning the blade. We're not going to do it today because we got so much to do today. But this is to sharpen the blade, okay? This is to align it, all right? So this has some ridges on it, that way there's friction. And basically, you keep it an even angle on both sides and get the whole blade. So when you come down, you're coming down and in both ways, okay? You can also do it this way. The main thing is to keep your hand behind the pommel, okay, on the hilt. That way you don't cut yourself, okay? Do it an even number of times on each side. That'll align the blade and allow it to cut. You don't always need to sharpen it every single time. That's not the case. But every time you cook and use the blade, you do need to align it. Otherwise, it's going to get dull real quick. All right, so we're going to trim the fat and the rib meat off because I'm not going to use that today. Ain't nothing wrong with the rib meat, just not a texture and consistency I'm going for, okay? So I'm going to try to move a little quickly because we'll be here for frickin' ever. And I only got so much wine, and that is the limit of my cooking abilities. My kryptonite is running out of wine. I added a donate button on my link tree, which I need to link that up, but in case you guys want to buy me more wine. I'm going through it so quickly. Can always use more wine, brother. All right. Okay, that one's good. Remember, we got to flatten these out now, and then we're going to season them. I'm not adding too much to them. I'm just going to use some garlic, salt, and pepper. Because remember, this is part of a filling, so we don't need to overload it. We don't want competing flavors, okay? All right, what am I doing? Hammer. And a drink. Oh, damn, that's good. Okay. Oh, I can get my thing back here. Hold on. Loving you is easy 'cause you're beautiful. You know, I really hate that I can't play just my normal music. Normally I have like, you know, just music. But man, DCMA, the freaking music companies are really cracking down. They're doing it live. So it's not that they're going to find some little old me, because I got, you know, hardly anybody watching me just yet. That'll change, but for now, there's not too many people tuning in, right? So it's unlikely that they're going to find me, but you only get 3 strikes on Twitch, you know? I just miss jamming out to my favorite tunes, you know? I mean, this Stream Beat stuff's nice. And if you guys got any recommendations to let me know, you know, stuff that you think would work really well on here, that's as long as it's, you know, royalty free, I'll put it on here. I'm down. Music is the heartbeat of our lives. Oh my God, that sounds like a Hallmark commercial. All right, salt and pepper first. Perfect. Gas on. Just a nice light coating. I don't need to kill it yet. We're going to add garlic in our initial, like we're in a little bit here. Like we're gonna start with our aromats. You usually start with the aromats, the aromatic ingredients like garlic and onion. Those usually get sautéed first. Scallions are an onion in the onion family, but they're really weak and they wilt very easily. So we don't need to saute those quick. We're going to add that in in a second phase. Okay. I don't need the powder anymore. I don't use minced garlic on the my chicken breast because it usually burns. You know, excellent. Smithers, release the hounds. It usually burns, so I try not to use it when I'm sauteing chicken breasts like that. You can definitely add it in if you're going to use like basting techniques. I think that would work great. Use real garlic for that, even just the minced garlic that I have here in a jar, which is my favorite thing. Don't get me wrong, I love real garlic, I'm lazy. Water off there. Nice. Alright, so now we're going to work on our veg. So, first things first is we're going to grate our ginger. That's just grate. I'm going to show you a cool trick on how to get the skin off of that really easy. Paring knife for that. And then we're gonna grate that. And then we've got our garlic, and then I believe that's all we really need. Oh yeah, the carrots and the scallions. I had to look it up. I gave myself some notes just because I'm not familiar with the recipe. So we only need 1 carrot for all of this. Little goes a long way. I love carrots, man. I'll just eat them raw. You need 2 scallions. Alright, so get a bowl. I'm going to add all this in there. Let me see. I think we'll add the ginger later. I'm going to mince it up later. We'll do that later, just because I don't want to burn it. And you know what though? No, I want to add that in first. Okay, so, alright, so here's a really cool trick. You take the blunt edge. Oops, sorry, wrong camera. You take the blunt edge. Oh, I'm getting sober. Oh, that's so good. You take the blunt edge and you peel back the skin. See how easy that comes off? So you just want to make sure that there's no skin, because the skin's not edible. We don't want it. Get that little nugget out of there. I'm actually gonna Man, that smells good. I love the smell of ginger. You ever had those ginger snacks? They're actually spicy and sweet at the same time. Let me know if you guys have had those and where to find them, because I love those things, man. Seriously, they're so good. We only need about 1 inch cube here. So, there we go. About half of that should be fine. There you go. Check it out. Alright, let's clean up our mess. Got my trash can right next to me, because I'm kind of trashy like that. Loving you. I'm not going to leave this knife in the sink. Never leave a knife in the sink. Other dishes fine, but anything sharp, don't do it. Don't do it. I want to prep my my other veg here too. Even though I'm going to grate this, I want to make sure that I get the skin off. You nobody want to eat the skin. There we go. There we go. Alright, cool. Cool, cool. Alright. Let's see. I definitely need another drink. God, but I love wine. Let's see. I got my grater over here. Yeah, good, good. Let's do this first. I'm gonna use the fine one because I really want this. I don't want big chunks. Yeah, let's do it this way. go. Nice job. Gotta scrape it off. It's gonna stick to the back there because we've minced it. Wow, that smells so good. Holy crap, it smells so freaking good. Alright. Ginger's in. Ginger in. This one I'm just gonna shred. Normal shred. Gotta remember to do it towards the camera, right? Or do the whole thing. Watch your fingers. These will cut you. Having said that, I probably will cut myself now. There we go. That's close enough. Excellent. That's done. Don't need that anymore. Actually, I will for the cabbage, but that's the next phase. Goes in there. A knife would actually do a better job of this, but I wasn't thinking ahead. All right. All right. Let's there we go. All right, remember the claw, okay? Use it to guide. And this is going in a circle. Notice my finger. 3 fingers on the hilt. 2 on the tang. Okay? I think that's the tang. I always get the terms mixed up sometimes. We want small cuts. Nobody wants an explosion of onion in their mouth when they're eating this, okay? There we go. Cool. Perfect. I like it. Let's take a look. Okay. So you can see there's the ginger. Okay. It smells great. I mean, it smells amazing. But this is our filler. The cabbage will be the biggest part. We're going to do a whole cup of that. But we'll get back to that in a second. So, all right. We need to get these things to heat. Okay. I didn't do it because I wasn't sure how long it was going to take, so this will take a minute. I got it on up to high heat. We get it in our wok. Let's check our oil temp. Should be close. Oh yeah. Remember, we wanted about 350. That's good. It's close to 400, so I dropped the heat just a little bit. So what we'll do is we'll add some oil to that, some olive oil, and you know, saute it up just a little bit, just for a few minutes on high heat, and then set that to the side. While we're doing it, let's get our cabbage going, because that's our next one. We're going to peel off the outer layers here. So that's the dirty ones. All right, so you know what? Let's do it this way. Probably need about 1/4 of this. That's not bad. Let's use this one. I'm going to shred this one too, actually. Let's see. I've never actually shredded a cabbage, so I want to try it out. I mean, why not, right? No, it's not going to work. They're going to just, the leaves are going to go crazy. Not yet. going slow just because it's hard to hold. I don't want to fuck myself up. I'm just doing a rough chop. They're gonna wilt when we use them, okay? So do not worry. That's plenty. I like that. If we need to add more, we will. That looks pretty good. I mean, my wok's non-stick, so I'm not worried about it too much, but drop the heat down just a tad. We want it pretty hot. Remember, it's got to sing to you when you pop it in there, okay? Otherwise, you're just going to steam it, and nobody likes that. Come on now. Now, because this is vegetables, we don't necessarily need to clean this. There's no cross-contamination with vegetables, unless you're worried about the flavors mixing with something else. And I'm not, so this is not going to be an issue. Oh, that ginger smells so good. I want to add the garlic. I'm going to add the garlic. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of garlic. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. You push, in order to flip this out, up, and towards you. They're a little wet, so they're not going anywhere, but it's basically just a snap. And be careful because it's going to really pop up. You do not need a lot of force to get that sucker going. All right. I think it's time for another drink. Yes, indeed. Okay, so let's start cleaning up a little bit. Clean up as you go, trust me. All right, that's done. We're good on garlic. I'm not going to need any more, I know it. Let's put our veg in a baggie. Ooh. It's closed. No worries. All right. There we go. Perfect. All right. Put that away. I'm not like diagnosed OCD, but I'm just using the turn of phrase. I'm so OCD about some things. I just can't stand a mess. So I try to keep it as clean as possible. Plus, it makes it easier if you clean as you go, a little bit as you go. That's kind of a life lesson there. Oh, that's good. Okay. You know what? We got a minute. Almost done. Let's keep that up a little bit. Let's get our egg wash going, just because we got a sec. What did I do with my eggs? I literally just had it. This is what I'm talking about, ADHD. You never know where you put things. Always crack them down here. I saw a thing on TikTok the other day where she cracked it in the pan, pulled it up, like she threw it in the pan, pulled it up, and then, oh, that's her life hack. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Oh, made me so mad. You gotta get eggshells inside that thing, man. What's wrong with you? And it wasn't up to temperature. What, do you steam your egg? Freaking just killing me, man. Killing me. It's not a life hack. All right. Oh, ginger just smells so good. I'm saying it as a ginger. Kara, what's up? How are you? I met you last night on Sulkin's stream. Alright, this is our egg wash. Seriously, I understand why Babish loves these little mini whisks. These are so freaking cute. I love it. Alright, another drink. Another drink! Ha-ha! Huzzah! We're getting there now. Alright, so, for those just joining, this is almost done. We don't need to kill it. We're just trying to get everything cooked a little bit. And then when that's done, we're going to pull that out, set it to the side, which I need another bowl for that. Set it to the side and then work on our cabbage mixture. Then we'll do our sauce. All right, that's starting to brown. I'm digging it. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm digging it. All right. I know you guys can't see this. It's just easier. When I'm dealing with hot things, you may not always get the best camera angle here. Not a professional. At least, not yet. All right, I'm going to put this back on. Okay, so here's our mix. Let's get our phone cam going. Eventually I'll upgrade this thing, but for now I apologize for the pixelation. It just, for some reason it does that. Okay, so there it is. That's part of our stuff. It smells so good, seriously. Oh my God. Thanks. Yeah, I'm doing good, Kara. How are you? Am I pronouncing it right, Kara? Karar? Karar. It is you. It falls to save humanity. Okay. First one done. Add a little bit of oil. Again, it's a non-stick pan. I get it. Okay. We are going to build the rest of our filling. We've got our egg roll wrappers up here, and then we're going to work on our chicken once the burner's free. I just don't have enough room in here. Let's check our oil temp again just to make sure we're not going too hot. Too hot is just as bad as too low. Too hot will burn the outside before it's done. Perfect. Perfect. All right. We'll have to turn that up once we start adding things. Remember, when you add something to a hot oil, you're going to... perfect. All right, I got you. When you add something to a hot oil, it's going to lower the temperature. So realize, the same thing with a pan. If you add things into a pan that's already hot, it's going to drop the temperature down. So you're going to have to give it a second to get back up to temperature. So like, let's say we're doing like 6 chicken breasts instead of 3 today. 3 I can fit in my pan. But 6 chicken breasts, I'd have to do 2 batches. So when I'm done with the first batch and I take them out, I'm going to give it a second, 30 seconds or so, doesn't take much, to let it come back up to temperature so that I don't, when I put it back in the pan, it's going to sing to me again. That's what we want. Okay, so. Let's see. That one's done. That one's done. 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 All right, so add our cabbage in. Woo! That sounds so good. It sounds so good. The drunker I get, the better I cook. The sloppier I cook too, apparently. Throwing shit on the floors. All right, let's do a couple dishes here. We're going to add our chicken stock here in a second once we cook down the cabbage. There we go. Cool. All right, so we just need to, we're going to add our sauce in. Not the sauce that we're going to dip in. We're going to add, so basically soy sauce and sugar, along with the chicken stock, and then we're going to boil it for about 5 minutes. That'll help cook it down. So let's need about a 1/4 cup. We got a cup of Napa cabbage in there. Let's give it another. That actually smells really good. All right. Remember, we don't want our thing to be soggy, right? I use light soy sauce almost exclusively. Soy sauce by its own, on its own, is super, super salty. And even for Gen Pop people, we're gonna need to watch our salt, especially from that. It's good. It's great. Really. Ain't nothing wrong with full soy sauce other than the salt. The salt is just, it's too much. All right. You need a little bit of the sugar to calm down the saltiness of the soy sauce. Okay? You're cooking this, so it's going to make a difference in the long run. Things intensify over time when heat is applied. Okay? So that's only going to take about 5 minutes. So in the meantime, let's... thanks. Yeah, that's the whole point of this thing, is to teach. Okay? There's plenty of shows out there that show you how to cook and they don't really do much. I'm going to over talk things. So yeah, I definitely I like to talk, especially when I get drunk. You should see me. This is me in real life, really. Hot damn, that's good. All right, glass number 3. Let's finish this off. That's a damn good wine for 10 bucks. All right, we got this on relatively high heat. That one's good. I don't think we're going to need any more chicken stock. We need to cook down the chicken stock, okay? That has to cook down completely. We do not want that thing watery at all, because, I mean, nobody wants a soggy egg roll, right? All right, so, oh my gosh. What do we got? What do we got? Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. You know what? I think I want to add a little bit of the sesame oil to it. I feel like it needs it, so not a lot. So this stuff, tablespoon at most. This goes a long frickin' way, man. Sesame oil is so potent. Potentate! So let's just, yeah, there we go. Let's move this up there. Man, that looks good. There we go. That's the smell. Okay. Tablespoon. I just added a tablespoon. That's it. That's all we got. All right. So sauce. Oh, I need a bowl. You know what? We'll use the red ones, the high bowl, the high back bowls, just because it's easier to stir. I'll use my little mini whisk just because I'm falling in love with this little mini whisk, man. Babish, you're totally right. Okay, so we need about 1/3 of a cup, I think. Yeah, equal parts rice vinegar and soy sauce. So, whew. Try to tilt this towards you guys. That's, you know what? I'm going to do a 1/2 cup. We're going to have a lot of. When I made the chicken egg rolls or the chicken buffalo egg rolls, I ran out of sauce, so I don't want to do that again today. That looks good. Measure, you know, okay, so I don't usually measure. That's the thing a lot of chefs don't do. Like when you see them on TV, they got everything pre-measured. That's just for TV. So like we don't actually measure shit. I remember when the first time I was in a restaurant and Chef Eddie, I came in there, I'm like, all right, well, how do I make this? We make bread. We made bread every day. Traditional bread is 4 ingredients: flour, water, salt, and yeast. That's it, okay? So he's like, he had this giant bowl. It was like, let me see if I can get into camera, like about this big and about that deep. Just this huge plastic bowl. And that made about 12 to 14 loaves of bread for the day. In a normal bread pan, right? Just the normal loaf pan. Some of the best bread I've ever had. Seriously, it didn't take much. Yeah, he was like, all right, so we're gonna make bread. So he basically it was like this giant scoop out of this bin, 6 of those things. However it mounded, you know, it didn't matter. It was just 6 of those things, and then 6 huge heaping tablespoons of yeast around the edge, and then 2 pitchers of hot water, and then a big handful of salt. I think 2. No, just 1. Just big handful of kosher salt. That was his measurement system. I'm like, oh my God! But you know what? You get it. You figure it out, and you're just replicating it at that point. That was the hilarious thing about all of it. So a lot of chefs don't really measure, you know. Lonnie, what's up? Measuring takes too much time. Yeah, I know. It really is tedious. But I recommend if you're going to do a recipe the first time, and one of my favorite chefs is Jacques Pepin. Jacques Pepin! We used to yell that in the hallway in culinary school. Jacques Pepin! Anyway, he said a recipe is just a snapshot in time. That no matter what you do, every time you make that recipe, it will be different each time. Because things like how hot it is. Today it's hot. Like I'm sweating like a motherfucker in here. How hot it is, the elevation in Colorado. There's a reason they have different recipes. You know, that kind of stuff. Total newbie. I mess up even when I measure. Yeah, that's okay. But you're basically, when you measure the first time, you're hedging your bets. You know, at least you know that you're following somebody else's recipe. And while you're likely to screw it up the first time, you'll at least get close to the recipe so that you can say, even an immature palate can taste it and say, it needs more salt, you know, that kind of thing. So that way, if you follow the recipe the first time, you can say next time, even though the recipe called for a tablespoon of salt, I'm gonna probably add a tablespoon and a half. You know, and by the way, the longer and slower you cook something, the more intense the flavors become, especially salt. I found this out the hard way when I made barbacoa, or not barbacoa, but carnitas. I love saying that word, carnitas. And a slow cooker. I don't generally use slow cookers, but I would do it because I had to work. Before I started doing this, I had like a regular 9-to-5 job, and I would throw that in the early morning and then come home and it would be ready. I'd put like a pork tenderloin in there because they're really lean, and then I would just let it go and add my spices. And I'll do that here as well. Or no, I'm not going to do that because that's a slow cooker recipe, but I will post that in the Discord for the subscribers because that's definitely a really good recipe. It's hands down something. But anyway, I got off track. What I learned was, let's check our, oh yeah, it's starting to come down. We're just cooking off the water. Okay, cool. What I learned was that you do not need to double. Like I doubled the recipe. I did not need to double the salt. I think I had a tablespoon, a heaping tablespoon of salt for the whole for 2 tenderloins. Or no, for 1 tenderloin is what I called for. So I'm like, oh, well, I got 2 tenderloins. I need 2. No, it was so salty it was inedible. And I like salt, so I'm just like, oh my God, it was too much. So I found out like it was like a tablespoon and a teaspoon with it. Like it did not need much more, seriously. The other spices, same thing, didn't need to double those. Although you can do a little more with those than you can with salt. Salt, for some reason, and I don't know it, I'm sure there's a chemical reason for it, but salt, for some reason, the longer and slower you cook, the more salty it becomes. Word of warning. Okay, anyway, I got off track. I do that when I get drunk, sorry. Let's get a little drunker. All right, so we got our equal parts rice, vinegar, rice vinegar, and soy sauce. We're going to do a tablespoon. Again, the little bit of this that goes a long way. Tablespoon of sesame oil. And I think that's about all we need. Oh yeah, honey. We need some kind of sugar to counteract the saltiness of the soy sauce. And then we'll taste. This is local honey. I'm big on local honey. And some of you may know this, but I'll say it again anyway. Try to get local if you can, because the bees eating the local honey on a regular basis, you don't need to have it every day, but I don't know what the frequency is, but really you don't need to have it every day. Just a little bit on a frequent basis allows you to become a little more resistant to local allergies, because the bees are the ones that pollinate the local flowers that make you get allergic. So there is scientific backing behind that. This isn't just some holistic bullshit. My mom's a nurse. I'm huge into the scientific method. So local honey if you can get it. All right, so I do need a tablespoon. All right. Let's get all that off of there. All right, let's incorporate it. This is basically just a soy sauce that you're going to dip the egg roll in, okay? Since this isn't for anybody... Oh, is there a difference between seasoning the salt during the cooking process versus after the meal? Yes, 100%. And where do I get my honey? I got it from Meijer. Just local grocery store, man. I just look and see. Like this one says it's Great Lakes. Like I live in Northwest Indiana, so that's close enough, really. There are, like, I think at one store here called Strack and Van Til, there's one over where I used to live with my parents on 30. They have like real local, like down the street, dude has a honey farm kind of thing. One of the few advantages, I hate living in the Midwest in the country, let me say that first, but there are a couple of advantages. One of them, you can get organic anything. Oh, I want some organic grass-fed cow. Okay, that's the dude down the street that's got his own cow. Like you can buy it by the whole half a cow if you wanted to. Ah, perfect. Yeah, look at that. All right, check this out. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, let's get our camera going here. Nope. All right, got to switch it around. Back camera. Okay, you get to see my fat gut there for a second. Look at that. We got rid of most of the water. Okay? I'm not going to cook it all down. That's okay. Because we're going to add a lot of chicken to that. It'll absorb. Don't worry. We're going to add that to our mixture over here. Oh, wow. That looks so good. You basically, and that's the consistency I want. Let me get it. Let me, hold on. Let me take care of this real quick. Okay. First off, before I get into that, I really do need to start the chicken because the chicken's going to take about 10 minutes. So let's get that on there. Okay. So check this out. See that consistency? That smells so good. Okay, tastes good too. There's still a little toughness in that piece there. That's okay. These pieces, you don't want them, you want them wilted, but you don't want them mushy. Okay? That's what we're looking for. That's why we only added a 1/4 cup to the cup of cabbage that we had there. Okay? All right. Okay, we're going to leave that to the side. Let's test our sauce here. Honestly, that's... Oh! All right, a little too much vinegar, needs a little more honey. And a little more soy sauce. That catching in the back of the throat, that was the vinegar. Seasonal allergies. You know, I never did until this year. And for almost 10 days, I was laid up. I couldn't do anything. It was in May. Apparently, so Northwest Indiana is one of the highest pollen counts in the nation on a good day. But they had their highest pollen count in recorded history this year in May. And that was the first year I've ever had seasonal allergies. Holy crap, I felt like I had a cold. I'm like, what is going on? And it was right after I had my second shot, my Moderna shot. I thought they were like, oh my God, the shot gave me... No, it wasn't anything, it was just timing. It was just like, oh my God, it was terrible. I felt miserable. Sounded like I had a cold, couldn't shake it. Allergy meds don't do anything. I don't know what was going on. Okay, that's much better. Yeah. That's it, right there. Okay. All right. That's not bad. And it's just soy sauce. Basically, it's just soy sauce. You want to taste a little bit of the... Did you really end up with an ear infection? Hey, you're a Hoosier too. Hell yeah. My license plate. My license plate is so cringy, but bear with me. My fiance is Baby Girl, BB1GIRL, right? Or G1RL, Baby Girl. Mine is Daddy, right? DAHDDY. I get it. It's creepy. Okay. It's still funny though, because it pisses off the right people. But on the top, the frame of it, it says Hoosier, so it's Hoosier Daddy. Most people aren't really close enough to see that, but I just, you know, dad jokes, right? Okay. All right, so now our sauce is done. Our filling is done. We need to get the chicken going. Once the chicken is done, we'll be ready to assemble. Woo! This pan is hot. Remember to heat your pan before you add the oil so that it doesn't stick. This is a non-stick pan. It's going to help me, but ooh, I laid that the wrong way. We are overloading our pan, but it'll be okay. All right, I'm gonna do a couple dishes here real quick. That wok is so freaking huge. That's what she said. All right. This is why they don't let me outside. I am a terrible human being. All right, dish is done. Oh, you know what I want to add? I want to add a little bit of red pepper flake because I like a little spice to mine. Probably a teaspoon. Oh, come on. There we go. I like spicy things, which is good because I'm getting married to a black girl and, you know, there's certain rules that you have to abide by. And you got to eat spicy. like legit. Oh, I didn't answer your question. Okay, so, sorry, Kara. All right, so the difference between adding salt, it's actually you don't add it. All right, so there's a couple things that you're talking about here. Let me. There's two of them. Okay, adding salt during, before, and after. Right? Okay, so we add salt before, usually on protein sources, to bring out more flavor of whatever we're adding it to. So if I add it to chicken, I want it to taste more like chicken. I don't want it to be salty chicken. That's too much. That's why we just get an nice even coat over everything. So same thing with steak. You know, we'll add salt and pepper. You know, that's almost always on any kind of protein source just because it adds more to it. It's in other stuff too, like soups. We're actually going to do a chicken and chickpea soup that I have that's really good. I'm trying to focus a bit more on vegetables just because we really do need to have more vegetables in our diet. That's a rant for another day though. But outside of that, we add it during to adjust the flavor. So before, we use it to bring out more of the flavor of whatever we're adding it to. Generally, almost exclusively to protein sources, okay? And here. Maybe you can look at my sexy face. All right, so. I'm so full of shit. All right, hold on. Oh, that's good. Okay. Before, bring out more flavor on protein. During, to adjust the flavor. And at the end, I assume you're talking about like when the food has arrived and is given to you completely done, and now you're like, you know what, I want to add more salt to it. I assume that's what you're talking about. Correct me if I'm not. But that's basically personal preference. The salt at the end is basically to make it more salty, right? So the first two, during and before, is to bring out more of the flavor and to balance the flavor overall, especially during. Like if you've ever had something that didn't have nearly enough salt in it, you can tell. You're like, oh no, it's so bland. It's not that it's not salty enough, it's just really, really bland. And that's because they didn't add any salt or not enough salt in the beginning. Totally true. Let's check on their chicken too, by the way. Okay. All right. Hey, so just so you know, how you know when to flip it? Besides pulling it up and checking, all right? But you can see the white part starting to creep up, about a third to the half of the way. That's plenty good. Flip it over. Okay, and that's good, that's good. Okay, all right, just back here a little bit. Okay, and just for shits, let's check our temperature in the back. I want to make sure. Last thing I want to do is pop that in there and have it. Okay, good. 335 and it's still going up. Okay, cool. So after, you're basically adding saltiness to the dish. You're no longer balancing the flavor of everything in the dish or making sure that the protein source tastes more of what you want it to be or what it is. You're now just adding saltiness. So that's when you're done and the salt's at the table. That's what that is. So hopefully that's a very long rambling explanation of what you were asking for. It's because I'm drunk. I love talking about food. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite thing to do is cook food. And I didn't find that out till I was 35. And I'm 46. Hot damn, that's good. Okay. All right, so we're just waiting on our chicken to finish up. Once this is done, I'm going to dice it up instead of shred it because I shredded it yesterday, so I want to see what or Monday for our chicken. Chicken buffalo, buffalo chicken egg roll. So I'm going to chop it up and make it really tiny and see how that goes. I want to see which I prefer. Now remember, we're doing 3 different types of egg rolls today. We're going to test out to see which one we like best. Deep fry, which is the traditional way to do it, right? But that has the most calories. Then baking, and then which will definitely have the least amount of calories. And then air frying, which is somewhere in the middle. Because one of the things people don't realize with air frying, they're thinking, oh, well, I can make French fries, which I love making French fries now in the air fryer. I can make French fries and stuff like that, which, by the way, my Steam username is French fries. That's how much I love French fries. Still a fan of cooking at 23, but really hoping to learn and love how to. Oh, good, yeah. I think everybody needs to learn to cook, really, especially if you want to dictate what you look like. This is the most out of shape I've been. This is why I have a belly, just because of health issues. But normally I work out 6 days a week, about an hour and a half a day. Like, I love working out. That's why I was a personal trainer and a nutritionist, all this stuff. I really, really like doing it. Just because I can't at the moment doesn't mean that I won't eventually get back to it. But you cannot, unless you're ridiculously rich, you cannot dictate what your physique looks like unless you cook your own food. Think about it. You could go to McDonald's and eat McDonald's and fast food all the time, but think about how little you would have to eat every day to control what you look like, and how hungry are you gonna be? Because while that food is immensely satisfying in your mouth, it is not satisfying in your stomach. Like, I'm hungry. Unless I overstuff myself, I'm just hungry within an hour or two. What's the old joke with Chinese food? You can eat so much of it, but it's just you're hungry an hour later. It's because a lot of the foods that are high fat are just, they don't stick around. your body processes them very quickly. High carb too. Protein is what takes a long time to denature it. It takes a long time. So protein, I love this stuff too. So protein under a microscope looks like a ball of yarn, like a really messy ball of yarn. And in order to process it, your body has to denature it. That's what happens in your stomach. So that means that it folds it out into this long line of amino acids. And then it chops up the aminos and pulls them in and absorbs them. That's the first thing your stomach does. So fucking cool. I love it. All right, so the trick with making yourself, whether or not you're a fan of cooking or not, is start small. You know, air fryers are really cool. If you got the money to buy one, I highly recommend it. I don't like them other than just as an extra because I already like cooking. But I do see the benefits of them. Same thing for slow cookers. Crock pots, I get it. Especially for parents that have a shit ton of kids. I love my daughter, but that was, you know, an oops, and I've been snipped, so no more kids. And my fiance does not want kids, so I'm not about the kid life. But I get it. I'm not faulting anybody for being like that. I just think that I know that the craziness that comes with having kids and your schedule goes out the window. So crockpots and air fryers totally understand. I like cooking and I have the time to cook, so I'm going to do it this way. But cooking starts small, you know? Look here, perfect example. Don't judge me. I love these things. Oh my God, and they're so bad for you. I mean, it's not that they have a lot of, it's 430 calories in them just for this. You can always divide it in half, but there's so much salt, and who knows what they do with these noodles. Like, I have a variant of it, and we'll go over this later because I have a couple recipes for it. I went over it initially in my first stream, but this is a very good, healthy alternative. All right, anyway. So, start with something simple, you know? You don't need to go crazy. Don't try to do the beef Wellington. These are done. The pan is hot. We're going to pull this off. Perfect. Woo. All right, pro tip. First, turn your heat off. Secondly, while it's hot, put the soap in, run some hot water, and let it sit for a few minutes. That'll pull all that up before it sets in. I'm using a non-stick pan, which has an advantage and disadvantage to it. The advantage is that it's going to not stick, but the disadvantage is that I can't use steel wool because it'll scrape up the bottom of the pan. So I have to use a soft scrub pan, or a soft scrubber. So in order to get anything up that sticks to it, I'm gonna have to be inventive. So putting that on there will pull all that stuff up. Anyway, all right, so I've always been eating homemade Mexican. Ooh, I love Mexican food. Seriously, that's my absolute favorite. Tight, like big classification of food is Latin food. Not like American Mexican food, like real Latin food. Cilantro all fucking day. Anyway, super used to homemade. Never really enjoyed fast food, but no Mexican food. Actually, it just depends. I mean, Mexican food. Think about a taco. Taco, like street food, in almost every culture is actually really good. Sushi, perfect balance of protein, carbs, and fat, right? Tuna and salmon are the most normal things that we, and octopus or squid, they're all high fat but high protein. There's our fat and protein. The carbs are the rice source. Everything else is just flavorings, right? So it's actually almost a perfect balance, and the 8 to 10 pieces that you get in a normal sushi roll, that's your meal. Perfect, right? Taco. The normal taco doesn't have cheese on it or any of the other things. It doesn't have the refried beans either. Just a straight up taco, corn or flour, doesn't matter, is tiny. You get 3 of them. Protein is the meat, whatever you put in there, even sofritas, which is tofu, which is really good actually. Yeah, I love the way the body, especially the ATP cycle, the adenosine triphosphate cycle, how your body generates energy. Fucking fascinating. So cool. But I will make people's eyes glaze over talking about it. Anyway, tacos. Think about tacos. Protein, carbs, and fat. You know, the meat is usually 80-20 beef. You know, it's not lean ground beef, which people like us, we're probably going to do that because we can. But we're talking about traditional Mexican food is not that kind of food. So it's going to be cheaper food. And the cheaper cut of meat is 80-20. Normal chuck ground into meat because it tastes better. Remember, fat is flavor. So you got your fat and protein in that, and then the carb is the shell, and everything else is flavorings. So tacos by themselves, burritos too, not unhealthy. The refried beans, because they're cut with lard, yeah, that's unhealthy. But remember, these were people that were traditionally working before they came and emigrated into the U.S. and did the same exact thing. These were people that are very hardworking, and they work their asses off all day. Same thing for farmers, American farmers. They did the same thing, so they made meals that had high fat and high protein, like refried beans, because they were expending so much energy all day. And really, when it comes down to balancing your food, is energy in versus energy out. How much food are you taking in? Energy in. How much exercise and work are you doing today? Energy out. Whichever one's greater is where your body goes. Energy in greater, you gain weight. Energy out greater, you lose weight. Consistently over time, not just 1 or 2 days. Okay, rant over. Sorry. I love the way this stuff works, and I'm good at what I do, but that's not my focus anymore. I'll definitely talk nutrition all day. But okay, so I think these are cool enough. Whew, okay, not enough. I'm going to use the tongs. I'm not worried about, I don't care, because we're going to mince this up. I don't care if it looks pretty. This is not about presentation. Remember, we're going to mince this up and make it tiny. It's a little more uneven because I don't have my fingers to guide my cuts. But I don't, like I said, I don't care because we're going to mince them up here in a second. Now, one of the reasons that we put our 2 fingers here and the rest on the pommel, because if they're all here, you can't use the force brought down by your shoulder and your torso as we push down. I'm exaggerating here. Push down. You know what? Let's do this. Okay. As we put, no, that's not good either. We need all cams. I need that phone cam on me here. Okay, so push down and away. We're making circles. It's not just chopping, okay? Because that is just the bicep. But if we use this forward, up, and down motion, now we're using the chest, the shoulder, the tricep, the bicep, the forearm, the torso itself, their abs, as we push into the meat. That's how I can cut like a huge freaking side of beef and just chop through it. Plus, obviously, the sharpness of the knife. So that's why you see me making circles, because then it allows me. Now we're going to chop. So now we're mincing. No. We'll get to you in a second. Calm down. First off, let's taste. Huh. Just salt and pepper and garlic, man. Okay. That's fine. What we got right there is fine. Let's take a look at it. Okay. See? It's not uniform by any means. It's not a true mince. This is a rough chop. That's fine. We just need it smaller than bite size because we got to incorporate it into the rest of our food here. Okay. I need a bigger bowl before I start combining because we're going to mix all this together and then we're going to start our assembly line. And that's really where the fun begins. Okay. Let's do a next one here. So what I'm doing basically is I cut it this way, right? Now I'm going to cut it this way. Knife's starting to get dull. I'm going to have to sharpen it because it should cut through this really easily. A dull knife is just begging for injury. Okay. Again, it doesn't have to be clean. Remember, this is going on the inside. We're not worried about presentation, okay? All right, let me wash my hands here. Got bits all over it. All right. Add all this, our filler. That's a lot of chicken. That's probably too much chicken, but fuck it. I love high protein, so I think 1 less chicken breast. So for this recipe that I'll post in the Discord, we'll put 2 chicken breasts in there. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, let me wash my hands and I'll show you what it looks like here. I'm fine with more protein. I'm not working out right now, again, due to health concerns, but normally I work out, so when you work out, you need more protein. That's kind of how it goes. But here, check it out. Oh, wrong one. Okay. Seriously, that's so good. You could just make some rice and eat it as it is. It's so damn good. All right, so now we need to create our assembly process. So I need to clean up my mess a little bit because we can't put our stuff down on this thing the way it is. That's not going to fly. Let's wash up just a little bit. If you guys got any questions, we got a few minutes before we start. Ask away. You have been. I'm not saying you haven't. Okay, there we go. Perfect. That one's done. Don't need this. Air fryer is ready to go. We do need to clean these and our board, and then we will be ready to go. Not bad, not bad. We're doing pretty good. So, one of the things, I've done catering for a number of years as well as a private chef. So if you're in the Northwest Indiana area, you can actually hire me to cater events and cook for yourself or your family or whatever else. I do that in person. Plenty of references. I'm pretty damn good at it. My cap is about 50 people. Just as one person, I don't think I can do more than 50 people feasibly. But one of the... you know what? Totally forgot where I was going with that. Clearly I need another drink. On Friday I'm going to be doing ginger beer, or fresh Moscow mules. Okay. Alright. So, I went over this on Monday, but use the paper backing, okay? Because that allows you... because it's got flour in between each one. So this is why we dried this off, because we don't want this wet. All right, so basically what we're going to do is you're going to do about 2 tablespoons for each one of these. You're going to need a sheet tray. You go there. Let's see. We need some cooking spray. That's done. Plate. Okay. We'll put our sauce to the side because that's for later. Okay. So, first things first, you want to add, and I'll show you guys a really good up-close version. Oh, diamond. You want a diamond. Man, it smells so good. That's about right. Okay, so let's give you a good look at this. Okay, so we want a diamond. You want the point near you, okay? And those that were here on Monday, you know basically what I'm talking about here. Dr. Rush, hey man, how's it going? I need some more booze? Okay, hold on. I do actually need more booze. I have a lot of wine, but it's mostly my fiance's, which is white wine. White sweet wine. I like white dry wine, so I'll get more, but this is the last of my dry reds. Oh, damn good. Okay. It's a really good story involving tequila, New Orleans, and a chef that I knew. Okay, so we're going to use the glue here, and then this is about what you want. You want it towards the back because we're going to roll it up like a burrito, okay? So let me see how much I can do one-handed. Wipe it off because you don't need to drip. Okay, that's it. Now we're going to roll this up. And you're going to make it as tight. Yeah, I can't do this one-handed, sorry. Okay. to keep it in tight. If you ever seen them roll it like Chipotle, you know kind of how this goes. Okay, keep it tight. Oop. Before you roll too much, you got to make sure you pull them into the side. Use your pinkies to pull it in tight, make it look pretty. And that's it. Okay, check it out. Okay? And that's it. That's really all it is. So now we're just going to create an assembly line. Same exact process. About 2 tablespoons. Oh, that looks good. Man, that looks good. Okay. Don't worry if you get too much egg on there, man. It's just going on the inside, and you're not getting enough to where it's going to taste like egg. You know, you're not making scrambled eggs in here. If you overstuff it, you're going to know. Okay? Overstuffing is bad because if it's too tight, you obviously want it tight because you don't want air pockets, but if it's too tight, if it's overstuffed, basically you're never going, or rather it's going to burst while it's inside because this is going to expand. Anything that adds heat to it expands, right? And then anything that adds cold to it, it contracts. That's why we get cracks in the roadway. So basically, you want to make sure that it's not super tough or super tight, overstuffed, basically. Okay, actually done with that one. Let's get that out of the way. Never been to Chipotle either, but definitely have in the region. I love Chipotle, and my fiance loves it even more than me. Oh, it's so bad. There's actually one in Valpo, so I live in Valpo. There's one in Valpo called Brick Street Burritos. Dude, they put French fries in their burritos. So good. They have a lot of specialty ones, whereas Chipotle is like basically 3 burritos, barbacoa, 4. So fritas, barbacoa, carnitas, and then the steak, right? And then every once in a while you'll get one that has the carne asada, which is just fancy steak. Well, it's marinated steak. And that's kind of all they offer. Everything else on their menu is a variation of it, quesadillas and all that stuff. So, and tacos, it's always just a variation. But that's basically all you get. With this place is like, they got like 20 different kind of burritos, and they're same size. They're these monster freaking burritos. Whew, they goose. Do they use head meat in the barbacoa Chipotle? I honestly don't know. That's a really good question. I don't know what do they use in that. It's given that it's a business and it's a multinational business, then it's probably, it comes down to money. You know, when in doubt, the question is always money. The answer is yes. So most likely it's whatever cheapest cut of meat that they can get, which means that they're probably using a variety of different types of cuts. I doubt they're using pork tenderloin. They're probably using chuck, rumps, whatever, just whatever they can get. And it's the cheapest on them because then the cheaper the meat for them is, and they lower their food costs, and therefore they increase their profit margin. Yeah, you definitely need fat. Like, yeah, we went over that earlier. Fat is flavor, so you definitely can't just do, like, I like the pork tenderloin, but that's because I try to watch my, you know, how many calories I take in. So for people that are trying to create their physique, then yeah, that's an issue. But traditionally, yeah, you usually want like pork butt. You know, the pork butt is great for barbacoa, for carnitas, for barbacoa, chuck, rump. 100%. You're totally right. Dude, burrito tacos. Oh, that sauce is fire. It's so good. Oh my God, I would drink that shit. It looks so good too, right? All right. So I know from Monday that my pan will do about 4 inside that deep fryer. So what we're gonna do is we'll pop 4 in there so you can guys start to see this thing get going, and then I'll start working on the other ones. The oven will be the last one just because we can put more in the oven. You know what? I don't know. Maybe we'll wing it. We'll see what we got. Because fuck it. It's not fuck around and find out Friday. Because that's Friday. So it's, what do you do on Wednesday? Alright. popped open our second pat. Oh yeah, so air fryers, you're gonna need to have an oil for the air fryer. Otherwise it's not gonna crisp up. Same thing for the oven. You just don't need as much oil. All right, so this one's got a hole in it. So we're gonna try to position that to where we're gonna roll it up and that will overlap so we don't lose anything. Because if you got an oil, an air pocket is gonna make it bubble. And if you got a hole in it, the oil is gonna get on the inside, which is just gonna make everything taste greasy. So you gotta make sure you control what it looks like, okay? Oops, I'm crooked. What am I doing? Clearly getting too drunk. Never! There's a lie, there's a bold-faced lie. There's so many spices and peppers and stuff. Yeah, so what's really difficult? Like, I got a lot of family in Norway, but I've never been to Norway. So what is really difficult for you to find? What are a couple of things that is hard for you to find in Norway? Do you have an issue with getting certain spices? Because in America, we got everything. That's part of our problem. So we're entitled as fuck. There we go. So I covered up the hole. So this is fine. I've got 4 here, so I'm gonna pop these in the deep fryer. Let's see what it looks like. The next 4 we'll put in the air fryer. Okay. Woo! That oil's hot. Thank God I got dead hands. Oh my God. Okay. Get a little more in here. Mexican oregano. So you have like regular, like other types of oregano. You get like like Italian oregano. Organ meats. Yeah, you know, sweetbreads are, that's still, even here, I mean, we have them available, but Americans don't like to know where their food comes from, so organ meats are never, unless you can trick an American into eating it, they're not going to go for it. I've had kidney. That was really fucking good, man. It was like the meatiest, densest steak I've ever had. But the cool thing about that is that you have to put it in milk for 3 hours, because what do kidneys do? They filter out the toxins in whatever mammal they're in, right? Well, you can't eat that because that's going to make you sick. So we actually, oh, that's too much. You got to soak it in the milk for 3 hours. Then the milk does a second job. It tenderizes it. So it's actually, oh, it's so good. Man, it was really good. I was really grossed out by trying it in culinary school, but fuck, it was good. Cuttlefish was really good too. No, that's totally true. Yeah, and cooking is crazy. Like, I could tell you stories. Yeah, most Americans don't like knowing where their food comes from because we've had processed food for about 40 to 50 years now, since World War II, when the industrial food lot started. And the industrial food lot didn't start out of like some corporate greed thing. That's not how it started. It is now, but it didn't start that way. It was a supply and demand issue. We had World War II, and then you had so many people that are just happy to be alive, and so they started fucking and had a ton of kids. That's why the boomer generation is the largest generation out there. And that's why, and that's my parents' generation, and they're all getting ready to die off in like the next 10, 20 years. So they were just, they exploded. The population exploded, and there was so much demand. Plus, we were the only functioning economy at that point because the rest of the world was fucked. Nobody came at us except for Japan, and that was Pearl Harbor, and that was it. That's all we had to worry about. Everything else was like, the worst we had to worry about was like, we ain't got enough bodies to make the war shit because all the guys are over there fighting things, so we're going to put women into work. That was the worst we had to deal with, seriously. Everybody else, like Stalingrad and the Russians, the poor Russians, you know, I'm not a huge fan of what they're doing these days. They're kind of assholes, but damn, in the war, ooh, man, did they lost a lot of people. I think a couple million. All right, I'm a huge history buff too. Okay. Now I think what I'm gonna do is do 5 in the air fryer. I think I can get a few more in the air fryer. We'll set that one at maybe. I actually don't know how long to cook it for, so let's do 350. 350 is like the magic number. 350 for 10 minutes to start with. See what it looks like. We will spray it with some cooking oil because, like I said, you need it to crisp up. But we don't need to do too much. That's the advantage of the air fryer, is that you're not deep frying it. Ooh, let's check. Speaking of which, let's check our thing here. Ooh, that is too low. See how it's not bubbling? We'll turn them over. We may need to do one more turn just because the bottom part wasn't enough. It was low because we had nothing in it. But remember what I said, when we add something in it, it drops the heat down. I should have compensated for that. That's bad on me. That's okay. It's not ruining the dish. We just need to pop the heat up a little bit. And we have to raise it up a lot to get it up to temp quickly, and then we'll start dropping it down. We'll find that sweet spot. Yeah, well, oil's always the safe bet, right? Oh, I forgot my, yeah, I got a lot of family in Norway. Half my family tree comes from Norway, the other half from Scotland. I'm actually only second generation American. Can you tell by the ginger? There we go. All right, we got 5. I think that's plenty for the air fryer. Let's try that out. I want to see how that looks. Now, one of the things you got to do with the air fryer is that you have to spray the inside too. Otherwise, it does tend to stick. I found that out through trial and error. So, let's see how many we can fit in here. I want to give them about an inch. Yeah, there we go. All right, check it out. All right, hopefully you can see that. Pop it in the air fryer. Let me get the other camera here so you can see what's going on. Okay, so 375, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. 350 or 375. There's not going to be too much different. I want to try 10 minutes to start with. Okay? Always bet on the lower time. That way you can pull it out and see what happens, right? Oh, you know what? Totally forgot to do what I was telling you to do. We want to make sure we spray. There we go. There we go. And it should pop in. Okay, I want to rant for a second. Notice, I don't know if you guys can see that, how it says 0 calories. But what you can't see is it's 0 calories for 1/4 second of a spray. Who the fuck sprays for a 1/4 second? This is still oil. Oil has 120 calories per tablespoon, regardless if it's extra virgin olive or straight up saturated fat meat oil. I don't care. It's all the same, because fat is fat is fat. It's a question of, is it alpha-linoleic or the health value of it, right? Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. That's basically the rant. So nobody's going to spray for a 1/4 second. You saw me, I sprayed for at least 2 to 3. So if we do, it's the reason they can get away with it for 0 calories is the way the FDA mandates on what considers as calories is that if you're less than 5 calories for whatever it is that you're serving, and it only applies to food, not supplements, if it's less than 5 calories, you can put 0. You do not need to put a calorie content on there. Like a garlic clove is 0. No, it's 3. It's 3 calories. But it's less than 5, so we don't need to put a caloric content on it, right? There's not actually 0 calories in it, but they figured out that if they put a 1/4 second, because nobody looks at how long you spray, they're just going to say, oh, it's 0 calories, therefore, oh, I can spray as much as I want, because we don't read instructions. Thank you. Yeah, so it's just, remember, while the FDA does try its best to help us out, it's still a government institution and they're still incredibly fallible. But they're the bulwark against the companies that are trying to sell us products that are pieces of shit. Companies are not there to make you healthy or be your friend. They're to make a profit for anything they can. They're doing the math to figure out, well, how many can we kill off or make sick before they make a fuss and then we have to modify our product. Trust me, they're doing the math. So basically the FDA says, here's the rules. You have to fall in line or we're going to smack you around a little bit. The FDA ain't got a lot of teeth, so you should do your own research. But please, for the love of God, don't go to holistichealthnews.com and get your information there, okay? Google searches aren't enough. You need to go to reputable sources like the National Institute of Health.gov. That is a very, very, very good source. However, I get that most people don't want to listen to read white papers like this fucking nerd over here. Anyway, I'm not going to rant about that too much. Okay. Fuck, that's good. I'm not done drinking, so I may have to pilfer my fiance's white wine, and she won't be pissed about that. All right, let's check our... There we go. That's much better. Look at that color. All right, I'm going to flip it just a little bit more, because I want a little more color on the other side. That one I think is done. Okay, we need... I actually almost forgot. So we're going to get a... Okay, so that way, people will say put it on a paper towel, but you're basically just letting it sit in its own juices. Put it on a rack. That's good enough. Remember, everything inside is already cooked. All right, we're gonna give that a few minutes to get back up to temp. Plus, I've been ranting too long, so I don't actually have anything made. Y'all can't let me rant like that, man. We're gonna fall behind. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? All right, let's see if we can't whip a couple of these out real quick. So our next batch, even though I've got room in the fryer, I want to get some in the oven. I want to see what those are going to turn. Those are going to take at least 10 minutes, so I want to get them in the oven. I used to love making these in the restaurant because it was just, you could zone out, man. You just listen to music and the world fucks off for like an hour making 100 of these things. Then you'd freeze them. You'd par bake them too. You put them in the fryer for half the amount of time until they're just lightly golden, and then you take them out, put them on a sheet pan, put them in the freezer. That way it only takes half the time to cook them. Most restaurants work that way. They will prep as close to service, or rather a completed product, as possible. That way they can get the food out to you quicker. Because people don't like to wait for their food. Where my food at, man? Don't get me ranting about what's wrong with the fitness or the restaurant industry. Seriously, I'm running out of sauce, man. I think this might actually be it. You know, I'm gonna do a couple. I'm gonna do 3 for the baking because I have less faith in that. Let's see what we got. I'm actually gonna put, just in case, I don't want it to stick. About an inch, at least an inch away, just like you would for cookies. We're going to do that as well. So, let's pop this in the oven. Remember, 350, 10-15. I don't imagine it'll be longer than that. So the rest of this we're going to deep fry because we already know that's a known quantity. We know that's going to be good. So that's what we're going to do. Remember, I'm cooking for my fiance, so I gotta make sure she likes this food. She loves making everybody at her work jealous. She's a microbiologist, so they're just like, oh, what do you make today? Don't get me wrong, it feeds my ego, but it's just funny because she's like, oh yeah, they're like, you got a private chef? Getting sloppy, come on now. Cool. I don't know, there's something so satisfying about making these things. I don't know, rolling it up, something like that, those oddly satisfying videos. Sounds like cheating. FDA should a lot more class. It should, but unfortunately politics dictate, you know, whatever administration is there, they kind of dictate what happens. All right, this looks like it's the last one. Go into a flow state? Yeah, it really is. You totally can. Yeah, I think so. I mean, plus I enjoy the act of cooking. This one's a little overstuffed, but I didn't have enough to make a new one. Okay, so I'm going to deep fry these two. Let's drop it down just a little bit because I know that's already too hot. Alright, I'm going to save these egg roll wrappers, and I think I'm going to make some, off camera, I think I'm going to make some apple pie ones. Get some Granny Smith apples and make some apple pie egg rolls. That sounds like fun. Fiance would like it. She loves anything sweet. Alright, let's do some dishes. Remember, always do your dishes ahead of time. I need more wine. I'm going to risk the wrath of my fiance and crack open one of hers. Don't tell her that I'm doing it, alright? I'm trusting everyone here to have my back. Alright, let's see what she's got. She's got mostly sweet wines, which I'm not a huge fan of. No. None of that. Wait, what's this? Ugh. It's one of my cooking wines. It's probably going to be trash, but alright. So we're not actually going to use one of hers. We'll use some dry, white, lukewarm wines, because that's how trashy I am. I know the sad state of politics in the USA. Yeah. You don't know how to contact her. I know, but you know. That girl's like a freaking FBI, man. She can find out such crazy things. That's why I don't ever even entertain the idea of talking to another woman. That girl can find out everything. I already knew that all lies get found out on a long enough timeline, but that girl, she could seriously find anything out about anyone. She's crazy. And she will fuck my shit up. Well, I already know this is going to be trash. But fuck it. You only live once, right? Smart man. Yeah, well, you know what? It was painful experience learning that. That girl, like, she would come up and find things out that I wasn't trying to hide. She would just know things. And I'm like, how do you know that? And the only way I found out was because I saw her do it later for one of her friends. And she's like, check this out. Let me find it. And I watched her work, and I'm like, holy fuck, dude. That's what I knew. Never hide anything from my fiance. That girl is super crazy. I love her to death, but damn. Okay, air fryer done. Let's check it out. Yeah, they're definitely done. Let's take a look. So this is what happened when we brought them out of the air fryer. That is definitely done. We don't need to go any further with that. I'm gonna let that cool off. That's almost done too. So here, let's take a look. Let me give you a good close-up here. So this is the air fryer version. Now they're definitely done. Like these are tough. Not tough, but they're definitely crispy, right? I'm gonna give them a minute to sit, because then I'll cut them open. But these are definitely 100% done. They definitely look different, right? You can still see some of the flour on them. So maybe that means we need a little more olive oil next time. I don't know. I was a little light on the olive oil. I really didn't want to load it down, because that's kind of the point of using the air fryer. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll check it out here in a second. We'll let those cool off. Alright, so I'll give you all cans back here. Okay, so let me finish cleaning up a little bit. Our sauce is ready. Clean up this. You go in the oven, or the dishwasher. You're done. Alright, these are done. Definitely done. Look how much oil comes out of that. Holy crap. That's still good oil. I'll filter that out and use that for something else. My fiance makes some bomb chicken wings. They are totally unhealthy, but they are so good. So maybe we'll let her do that. So, yeah. Oh my God, I love my fiance. I wouldn't. I've already been married once, and it was the most toxic relationship ever. I have no problem talking about it, but that really would bring down the energy. She's just a horrible human being. But imagine being married to Trump, con artist, you know, all that stuff. Very, very toxic, narcissist, anything. But this one, I never wanted to get married again until I met this one, and she is the light of my life. I love her to death. Oh, I wish I could show you a picture, but she's incredibly private. I wish I could show you a picture. She's so fucking hot. But I love her. I mean, and I was never so needy until this relationship, and I blame her all the time. I tell her, I was like, listen, yeah, definitely need to filter it. No, yeah, no, anything with fish, you got to stick with fish. Yeah, you're totally right, 100%. Yeah, no, yeah, I love my fiance, but yeah. She made me a needy bitch. Like, I was never like, okay, so the story is we hooked up on Tinder because we were both hoes. And then after about almost like half a year, 3/4 of a year, she caught feelings and she cut me off saying, hey, I can't do this anymore. I like you. I need more. And I'm like, nah, I'm cool. Whatever. 3 days later of not communicating with her, I'm crawling back. Baby, take me back, you know. Oh my God, yeah. So I needed her back. So, and ever since then, it's been like I'm more in love with her, but I'm also more needy. So she goes to work for about 8 hours a day, and by the time she comes home, I'm like, where is she? I need her. It's so bad. Oh my God, it's so bad. Yeah, I think we all go through those abusive relationships. It sucks that we have to go through them, but I think it makes us stronger and better people, and it also makes us appreciate the good ones that come along. Yeah, Kara, I love it. That's awesome, man. Swipe right. All right, let's see if this Behringer piece of crap cooking wine is any good. It's okay. It's not trash. Tinder for everybody. Woo! So she'll kill me for saying this, but we had sex in a Steak and Shake parking lot on our first date. In my car. Oh my God. I'm a horrible human being. All right, so let's check our oven. See how they're doing. I don't think they're done yet, but let's look. I wanna actually spray some oil on these. I really want these to crisp up a little more. Ah, here it is. Yeah, there we go. I feel like they're gonna look like big balls of flour if I don't put some olive oil on them. So that's got at least 5 minutes. So in the meantime, let me clean up this real quick because presentation, and then let's cut into some of these so we can see what they look like. Obviously, the last ones that are going to be there are going to be the oven, but that's okay. That's why ovens are low and slow, man. No matter what you do with them. This is not my final cleaning for these. Please don't think that I will leave these. This is what it looks like when I'm done. I'm just trying to get the bits off. Man, I love cooking. Holy crap, this is so much fun. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. It makes it so much more fun. I'd do it without you, but I love that you guys are here. Seriously. That sounds uncomfortable. Thanks, yeah, it took a while. And it took me 6 months to propose to her. From the moment I figured out that, yes, I want to propose to her, it took me 6 months. And I don't keep secrets. Like, I am about everything. I'm ADHD, so as soon as I meet you, I'll tell you about everything in my life if you want. Thanks. But yeah, it took me 6 months, but I managed. And I asked her later, did you figure it out? And she did not. But I was a gym manager at Anytime Fitness at the time. Everybody at the gym. In order for me to not tell her, I had to tell everybody. So I'm signing people up for the membership. I'm like, hey, do you want to see the ring I'm about to propose? So like everybody at the gym knew I was going to propose to my fiance. My family knew. Her family knew. Oh my God. That was super scary for asking her dad before everything. It took, first off, he works midnights. He works as a prison guard at the county jail. And he is a huge dude. And I'm just an old white guy that I'm closer in age to him than I am to his daughter. My fiance is 20 years younger than me. Not by design, obviously, but that's just kind of how it rolled out. So I was super nervous asking him for his daughter. And oh my God, I was so nervous. And yeah, oh my God. But they love me. They love me. Okay, let's check this out. I need another plate. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna pull some of these over here just so we can get them out of the way. Now, you're gonna want a serrated knife. This is a bread knife. Can you see that? It's a bit dull because it's been a minute since I've cut it, but bread knives they don't need to be sharp, right? I can sharpen these, and maybe on Friday I'll show you how to sharpen a knife. But yeah, love does not care about age, but everybody else does. Not that we care, but it's just, yeah, it's just another thing to roll into it. All right, so first off, let's take a look at what these two look like. Excuse me. Okay, this is the deep fried one. This is the air fried one. This is more like sourdough bread, feels like. And this one is a little squishy, just like most deep fried things are. This is what you'd expect, right? See, look. That's from that, not from that. Let's cut them open and see what they look like. I can't do it two-handed, so forgive me. I'm going to put this down for a second. We're going to cut it at an angle. Okay, I will show you this. So normally, like this is straight on, right? Right? No. There and there. That's what we want. That's cutting on the bias. As sharp as you want it, that's okay. We're going to hold both sides, okay? Because we don't want it to move. Don't push down. Saw gently, okay? Let the blade do its work. There's one. There's two. Actually, let's pull it. Well, no, we can do it this way. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's do it this way because it's easier for me to get to it. Okay. That's the baked one, right? Or the air fried one. And that's the deep fried one. These definitely hold their shape better. Everything's cooked, looks good. And there's that one. These are what you'd normally expect from an egg roll, a deep fried egg roll. I'm not going to bite into them yet because I really want to taste all three at the same time. I will tell you, so how to taste. There actually is an art to tasting. There is an art to tasting. Here's how you do it. You have to taste twice. The first time you taste something, it's contaminated by whatever was in your mouth before that. Even if there was nothing in your mouth has a certain flavor to it. Whether it's weak or strong, it doesn't matter. It's just a question of biology and chemical makeup. But, hang on one second, I'm putting this stuff in the oven. Okay, but let's say you tasted, let's say you're trying to taste some wine and you want to know what it tastes like, but you just got done eating bread, or let's use an extreme example. We had an egg roll and somebody pours you a new glass of wine and asks you to taste it. If you want the accurate taste, first, if you have a palate cleanser like like sherbet or something like that, do that. Otherwise, you drink a glass of water, okay? Let that wash it down, and then taste the food that you're being asked to taste, or the wine. But that's not the final flavor. That's the first one. Swallow it. Here, let's show you. Okay. The second flavor, because now the wine is in your mouth. This, the second time you taste whatever it is you're going to taste, that is the true flavor. Now you can taste it. Now you can analyze it. It doesn't matter if you have a sophisticated amateur or whatever kind of palate. You need to do it twice. The second one is the one where the true flavor is at, because the first one removes whatever's in your mouth. The second one allows you to taste what it actually is, and that, it is almost universal. So when you're trying to figure out if you like something, if somebody asks you, hey, taste this, let me know what you think, do it twice. It's not a quantity thing. You don't need a mouthful of food. Just, you know, like if you saw me taste that sauce earlier, I dip my finger in, taste, dip my finger in, taste. There's very little there. But the second one has allowed me to let me taste it. And sometimes I'll do a third or a fourth just to confirm what I already know. But that's usually where it's at. The reason you rinse the beer before, okay, yeah, you're totally right, Doc. Oh, you're a super taster? Yeah, that's like the only thing that I have. I'm not a super taster, not at all. But the closest I have to that is I have perfect pitch, because I was a concert cellist for 16 years. And I didn't have perfect pitch by birth, but you can train yourself for it. And once you have perfect pitch, you can't get rid of it. So if anybody's even like a quarter tone off, which most people can't tell what a quarter tone is, oh my God, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard. I hate it. So yeah, you're totally right. It's a blessing and a curse. That's cool. You can actually get a really good paying job as a super tester here in America. Not gonna lie. Taki, you got it. Taki, no problem, man. Okay, so we have 2 out of the 3. Let's check our oven and see how we're doing. Because I really don't. I'm so impatient. I'm tired of waiting. I just want these things to be done. Here we go. Okay. Almost. They're getting firm and they're starting to brown up. Okay? Let's pull this one out a little bit. You can see they're bleeding a little bit. That's okay. That's okay. Maybe another 2 to 3 minutes and I think we'll be good. Let's get our plating. I'm huge into plating. I absolutely love plating. There is an artistry to it, 100%. So I'm going to get a little ramekin for our sauce. Fly me to the moon. That's how, okay, wait, sorry. You already, that's how you know I'm drunk, is that I start singing Frank Sinatra. Let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. Okay, cool. All right, we got our sauce. Pinot Gris? I like Pinot Gris, yeah. Oh, happy birthday. Well, like the 12th? Okay, so... So by the 12th one, you're just hammered. Let's be fair. That's not a bad thing. It's just, you know, if you don't have the accurate taste by the second drink, then after that point, you're just drinking to drink. A sushi chef? Oh, wow. Nice. That's awesome. High praise. Sushi chefs are true sushi chefs are renowned for their discipline and their high standards. 100%. If you can, there's a movie, documentary, used to be on Netflix. I don't know where it's at now because it was a couple years ago. Is Jiro, J-I-R-O, Jiro Dreams of Sushi. It is about the oldest man in the world to receive a Michelin star. Michelin is obviously the tire company, but it's also a family that does the star ratings for high-end restaurants, weirdly enough. And of course, they're French. They, in order to get a Michelin star, like you can actually do a search for Gordon Ramsay, one of my favorite chefs. I've actually met a bunch of the chefs in person because I went to culinary school in Chicago, and they have this National Restaurant Association, the NRA. The NRA, National Restaurant Association, every week in the 3rd week of May every year before the pandemic, they have this huge event, and all the celebrity chefs come in there. And the 3, at the time there were 3, I think there's only 1 left now. The 3 culinary schools in Chicago would pimp out all their culinary school students to all the celebrity chefs. So I got to actually meet a lot of them. And Gordon Ramsay's so nice. I love that guy. He's just a nice dude. He's not like he is on TV. The little videos he does with his daughters, that's him. He's just a nice dude. Anyway, if you can find his video of him when he was first trying to get his Michelin star, he's super stressed and freaking out at everybody, which is where he gets that whole Kitchen Nightmares thing. It's super high. It's so difficult to get that Michelin star. Anyway, Jiro is a sushi chef in Japan, and I think he was in his 80s or 90s or something like that when he got his Michelin star. He's like a 10-seat restaurant, and it's fascinating to watch. They go through him going to the fishmonger and what his apprentices have to go through. Like they have to beat on the octopus to tenderize them, and they got to do that for like months before they even get to handle the sushi. It's so freaking cool just to watch the culture of sushi in a true sushi restaurant. Anyway, and it's like 30,000 yen just to reserve, or 20,000 to reserve a seat there, and then you pay for the food. It's crazy. It's crazy. TV is staged? 100%. 100%. Yeah, I actually really, my favorite thing is I loved Chicago. I loved I didn't have to drive anywhere. I lived there for 3 years, going to culinary school. I got to experience a lot of different types of food and flavor, especially up the Red Line and the Argyle stop, Little Thailand. Amazing food there, 100%. Wolfgang Puck, yeah. I don't think he's actively doing appearances anymore. He's pretty old. He's pretty old. I've never met Puck, but I respect the man. Nobu? I actually don't know. I don't know Nobu. Andrew Zimmerman? Yeah. He is a TV host, but he'd still be cool to me just to talk food. 100%. Yeah. All right, let me put the phone down. Let's see what's first off. Let me get more wine, because, you know, wine. Oh, so good. Okay. Whoop. I think we're okay. Yeah. I like those. Okay. You know what? I don't know why I use these stupid... In the kitchens, we just use towels. We just double up them towels, man. Here we go. Okay, so these are the baked ones. I might have pulled them out a minute too soon, but I think they're okay. I think they'll be all right. Turn my oven off. Okay, so let's take a look. Let me cut one up. Woo! 350-degree egg roll. One of the things you get in the kitchen after so long is something called dead hands, where your hands get desensitized. Mine are not there anymore. All right, so. Okay, so we're going to pull this up and let's compare. Okay. Let's give you guys a good view here. All right, so here are the baked ones. Can you see the top? Actually, I'm sorry. This is the air-fried ones. Air-fried, right? Deep-fried. And this is the baked ones. These are really just as tough as the air-fried ones, but not as brown, even though I put the olive oil on them. But they're still just as tough. So here's what they look like above. Baked, deep-fried, air-fried. So the air-fried, it looks like the flour is a bit, that's on the dusting of flour that comes on the egg roll wrapper, is a bit more noticeable than even on the baked. But I think that just comes down to how much you spray oil on it. I think if I sprayed a little more oil on it, I think that would get rid of that. But yeah, that's what it is. Let's taste them and see what they taste like. Really, I don't know. I want to get another drink of wine here. Andrew Zimmerman, yeah. I actually, you know, I think he used to be a cop, Andrew Zimmerman. Is that right? I could be wrong on that. I think he used to be a cop. The bald dude, right? Kind of a little overweight, dad bod kind of guy. Tortilla hands. I'm stealing that. That's awesome. Hot ends on 3D printers. I really want. That's one of my big purchases. After a smoker, that's my big purchase is a 3D printer. I'm a huge nerd, so I love 3D printers. Yeah, no, he totally was a chef, but I think he was also a cop, but I could totally be wrong on that. I might be misinterpreting that. All right, so we have our sauce. All right, so we're going to try the baked one first. Sauce is meant with this, so let's see. Okay. I'm not going to say anything until we're done. Oh, that white does not pair with that at all. Okay, so we did the air fried. We're doing the deep fried one now. That sauce is fire. I'm using it, even though the wine doesn't taste good with it, I'm using that to try to wipe out my palate. It's not clean. It's not a palate cleanser, but it's close. Okay, so now this is the oven one. Ooh, so hot. Okay, give me a sec. Let me wash this down. I'll tell you what's up. Oh, that really doesn't taste good. A Pinot Noir would work really well with that, but that white wine is not good, even though it's a Chardonnay. Okay, so final verdict. It comes down to the crust. The inside tasted the same on each and every one of them. It's just a question of what is what is the consistency of the egg roll. The deep fried one is what you'd normally expect. Yeah, that's always going to be good because deep fried. I think I would go with the air fryer over the oven one. The oven one was almost like a stale cracker. It's okay, especially with the sauce, but I think the air fryer is, I would prefer the air fryer over the oven. Definitely the deep fried. There was a lot more moisture on the inside than on the other two. It wasn't that it was dry at all on the other two. The flavor was still there, but there was definitely more moisture because it's deep fried. You know, there's definitely more moisture. So the deep fried one is definitely the way to go. But if you're trying to save calories when it comes down to air frying or baking, I'd go with the air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer, you're not going to be disappointed with the baking. It's weird. The texture of the egg roll itself is like a stale cracker. It's kind of weird. It's like it crunches, but just kind of like, it's a bad day past when you should have thrown it out. It's obviously not bad or anything like that. And definitely with the sauce, it's good. But sauce, I mean the recipe for it, 100%. Love it. Really good recipe. I like it. Not just because it's mine. No, seriously, it's actually a really good recipe. So those that are in my Discord server will get it immediately. Give me a day to put it up, and I will give it to you. Those that are not on my Discord server, 30 days from now, you'll get it across my socials. I do post everything for free a month after the fact, just because, again, I'm trying to teach everybody how to cook, and I want you guys to have access to this stuff, even if you're not paying for it. Let's see. If you want a 3D printer, let's try a Prusa M3K. I'll write that down, yeah. Okay, I'll write both of those down, definitely. I got the big one. Well, my mom got it for me for my birthday during the pandemic, but I got the big one just because she knows I cook in bulk usually. But they're, I think, about $100 for a decent one. So, I mean, if you got it, it's worth it, I think. Especially for people that are not good at cooking or new to cooking, it's definitely worth it if they're trying to save on calories, 100%. Yeah, I'm glad you guys came. Thank you. I'm not very confident deep frying with open oil. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's just whatever because it was a little shallow. That's okay. I just flipped them. You're just going to flip them. You just got to looking for a color. 3 to 5 minutes is usually all it takes. If it's a full deep bath, then when they float, then they're done. That's kind of the golden rule. But yeah, usually most people, I don't like deep frying things. My fiance loves deep frying things. I don't. I generally don't deep fry anything. She is much more into the deep frying than I am. That's okay. She's not trying to be nearly as healthy as I am, at least not yet, because she's 20 years younger. She doesn't have to be yet. Anyway, that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I love it. Thank you again. Again, if you have any questions, my contact information is everywhere, by all means. We'll be back on Friday. Peter is not going to be here on Friday. I haven't rearranged it with him, but Solkin will be here on Monday, and I'm super excited for him to come. That'll be my first guest. We'll see how it goes. It'll probably be chaos, but that's okay. Anyway, a lot of flavor is hidden in the Maillard effect. Yeah, ooh, very nice. The browning effect, the Maillard effect. Yeah, much more important in baking than it is in everything else. But yeah, you're 100% right. 100% right. Yeah, I know, Kerr. I can't wait for... I love that guy. Ken is so nice. I love that. He helped me out a lot. I want to help him out, and he's going to help me out. Obviously, it's a mutual relationship. But yeah, I'm excited for him to have fun in here and just fuck around. I have no idea what we're making yet. I'm going to talk to him and say, what do you want to make? So anyway, if you guys have any questions or you have any suggestions like what you would like me to cook and try out, by all means, let me know. I'm totally open to suggestions. I haven't cooked everything. I've cooked a lot of things, but I haven't cooked everything. So if I have cooked it, I'm definitely open to cook it again. If you want me to try a certain recipe a particular way, like can you make egg rolls with cilantro or something? I don't know. I'm just making shit up. I'm down for that too. Let's try it out. That's half the fun. Cooking is fun. Do not be afraid to fuck up. Mind you, you probably have to, if you're poor like me, you probably have to eat the food you make, but you know. Yeah, totally. See you guys later. Anyway, I'm out. Cheers, you guys have fun and have a good day.